Hello again from Rome. It's a stormy day here with the clouds overcasting the city, but we're doing the work in our small groups with great clarity and making wonderful progress. This past Saturday was an occasion for the whole Synod to come together and celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Synods, which were begun by Pope Paul VI, Blessed Pope Paul VI, a great pope for all of us, one who wanted the church to walk together. The Holy Father took that occasion to speak about the importance of synodality, as he calls it, in the life of the church. That is where we listen to one another, bishops with the Holy Father, but also with our people. And he made it also very clear that coming together in the Synod is not only with Peter, but under Peter, as he said, cum et sub Petro. That, I think, is very important for us to keep in mind, because the Holy Father, as the one who leads the church in union with all of the other churches throughout the world, is an individual who has a unique charism and calling in the life of the church. So as we proceed, we have to keep in mind that whatever we do are in the form of suggestions, recommendations, considerations for him. And then it will be up to him to decide how the church will move forward with all of these questions dealing with the family. It is an exciting time, and we really can trust the wonderful leadership of Pope Francis, who seems to have serenity and a calmness to all that he's doing. Again, from Rome, it's great to be with you, and I'll be reporting throughout this last week.
This last phase of the Synod deals with Part 3 of the Instrumentum Laboris, or working document. And Part 3, of course, is very important. It's about the application of the various principles and of the convictions of faith of the Church to family and marriage life. So one of the things, and obviously there are all kinds of questions and some controversy and so forth, but one thing is steady in that third part of the document, and it is a commitment of the Church to accompaniment, that the Church would accompany people, especially people who find themselves in difficult situations. Now, that word accompaniment isn't a word that we use very often in English, but it just simply means walking with. And the Church, before doing anything, is present to people, walking with them. And in a particular way, walking with people as they form their consciences. Consciences, that gift that God has implanted in our hearts, that enables us to see what is good and what is wrong, and to make good and right decisions on the basis of that judgment, so that we see values. And in light of those values, as we understand them to be values for ourselves, we make good decisions. Conscience helps us, before we decide, to move in a proper direction. And once we have decided, conscience helps us to evaluate what we have done. If you want, and this is really very important, you may want to check with the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Numbers 1776 to 1802 in the Catechism describe what conscience is all about. For many people, conscience may mean, well, I do whatever I think is right. That's not the case at all. There is a way in which we have to understand and appropriate the truths of faith, and do that in such a way that then the values become real for us. So, as we're dealing with difficult situations that people face with regard to marriages or sexual orientation or whatever, there is a kind of constant growth in the development of conscience so that people can make right decisions. You see it with parents helping children to learn what's right from what's wrong. But the fact of the matter is that throughout our lives, we're learning more and more how to make good judgments and then engage our freedom as we make our journey back to the Lord.